God who was rich in mercy. He saved me, not will save me. He did save me. I got to stop waiting to be saved and start celebrating what God has already done. You ought to come down the front not asking, but saying thank you for what you've already done.
Welcome, everyone, to each and every one of you. Welcome to the Philadelphia Seventh-day Adventist Church So What session. So what is So What? So What session is an opportunity to review with the speaker who provided a message some greater clarity and understanding of key concepts or concepts that you may have outstanding questions about. So whether you're a young person, whether you're an older person, whether you're churched or unchurched, you've been a Christian all your life or you've never set foot in a church, it doesn't matter. Bring your questions from the sermon that you heard. We want to delve and go deeper and provide a greater understanding. So it's your opportunity to provide any form of feedback with the speaker in a conversational style. Join us, each and every one of you.
Another edition of the 2019 Falls Evangelistic Series, But God. There was no better way to start the Sabbath than with the edifying words of our special guest today, Dr. Stanley James.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Dr. James, I sat through many of your presentations throughout the course of this week, and there were information that was provided that I was like totally lost to most of what was happening prior to being in the session. So I must say I have taken away from this session so much information. It's a wealth of knowledge. It's like sitting into a classroom for a year learning about
Praise the Lord.
information that is very important to us. Yes.
I'm so excited to hear that. It's not uncommon that a lot of our message is such a rich message. People assume that people know it, or when people come into the church, it goes through it so quickly that there are many people who are in the church that that don't know our message, and they're afraid to even say to somebody, "Can you help me?" But they don't know where to go. But they don't even know that they don't know. So it's also a great experience to go back over the fundamentals of our message and explain them in ways that practically apply to the believer, so that it's not just head knowledge, but it's heart knowledge and makes habit knowledge. And that kind of makes you a whole new person because you've integrated a new worldview.
Thank you so much for sharing. All right, so there is actually the sanctuary plan that you mentioned today.
Yeah.
In my opinion, the sanctuary was just a place we go and worship. When you explained today about the sanctuary, you went into further details, telling us about the mercy of God, the Lord, and the commandments, which that's like so much information packed into one. Could you explain a little bit more to our audience as to what exactly the sanctuary plan is?
So the sanctuary, the question is, what is its point? What's the big deal? And God says, I made a sanctuary so that I might dwell with them. And so here it is, God's ultimate objective in the entire plan of redemption, or the salvation plan, is so that I can become intimate with you. I want to be one with you. The goal is to dwell with you. And isn't it true that most of us would like to be friends of God, but we've got stuff in our lives? And so God has found a way to kind of help us to get over the condemnation, like the feeling of separation. But it's also found a way to get over the condition, the things that we do that separate us. So the sanctuary shows how God removes condemnation and also cleanses us from a sin condition. And so it is a building, but it's really a building that kind of spells out this step that takes you from a sinner who comes and says, I messed up. And then it shows you how he carries your sin in his blood. And then finally it's put before this great ark. God actually sits in that ark on a mercy seat. Our blood, the blood of a goat is sprinkled there, which represents Jesus' blood. But that mercy seat is above the law. So God should judge us by the law, and he does. But he looks at us through mercy when he sees his law. And the blood of Jesus Christ covers of our sin, so that where we are out of integrity with the law, and through Christ's integrity, we're cleansed, and God sees us just as he sees Jesus. So this is the whole plan of the sanctuary. And when God sees us like he sees Jesus, then he can become one with us. He cannot become one with us until we've been covered and cleansed. And Jesus makes that possible.
Thank you so much for explaining what the sanctuary plan was.